Hi there. So in our January Best Practices Forum, we are going to talk about vision, mission, goals, objectives, and strategies. Great start to the new year. Essentially what I'd like you to bring is either in your company or in your personal life, what do you usually do at the beginning of the year? Do you have a vision? Do you have a mission? Do you come up with goals and a plan? Do you just not do anything? And what do you like about it? And what do you dislike about it? What I find is that everybody does it differently, so it'll be a really interesting discussion, and we can see how one person defines vision versus how somebody else defines vision. I think it's going to be a great discussion, so I hope to see you there. It's going to be on January 11th. Krista, thank you so much for coming today. We talked about vision, mission, values, objectives, goals, all these different words, and I think it's confusing for people. So for anyone who wasn't here today, can you maybe pick one of those words and maybe share a little bit about your clarity and how you apply it?
Absolutely. Thank you, Nahid. So last year my company, or actually, well, in the last year, we were struggling a little bit with some personality differences in the firm. And we started doing some work, and one of the areas that we worked on was on values.
Values, yeah.
And we identified 3 core values. And I think by doing that work, we identified that as work-life balance, education, and and quality of the work. And by doing that work, I think it helped us identify what people fit well within the culture of the firm. It really defined the culture of the firm. And so it helped us to identify who's a good fit culturally for the firm, and that helps me now in hiring people, because I now know what our core values are, so I'm looking for people that resonate with those core values. And it also very much helps us in defining our products and our services for our clients, and how we differentiate ourselves from our clients. Very much helped us identify what makes us different and unique, and that helps us in our sales process and in our marketing process in terms of what makes us who we are, and why hire us and why work with us. And it also helps us identify which clients we want to work with and which clients are a good fit for us, because not every client's a good fit. And we're able to find that fit, and if it's not a fit, it's okay, because it's like we're just not aligned in terms of our values, and that's all right.
And the great thing is, it sounds like it just, once you find your values, it just anchors everything, all the decisions that you make about your organization. One of the things that you shared in the group session that I thought was really helpful, and maybe if you can just spend maybe 30 seconds sharing how in the world you figured out your values, because I think that's hard for companies and people.
Absolutely. So the process we went through, most important, we asked some questions. We just went around the room, and everybody just kind of thought about what are the clients they like working with the most, and what about it they enjoyed, and what clients they liked working with the least, and why. And by kind of identifying those things, we found those core themes, which really we identified were then our values. So they liked working with the clients that wanted to be educated, and appreciated the education and the educational value. And so that process of kind of just brainstorming who we like working with, who we work well with, who we don't, helped us to hone in on those core values.
That's so interesting, because I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking about another client that I'm working with, and it's this sort of a similar process we went through, where we actually had people share stories of the most fulfilling and rewarding customer experiences, and then we looked for patterns. So that's a great method. Thank you so much for being willing to share on camera. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Nahid.
All right, bye. So, Tricia, there were so many words we talked about today: values, vision, strategy, mission. And I asked everyone to kind of pick one that resonated, and you had said that the word purpose really resonates for you right now. Tell me why.
I am someone that absolutely needs a why. I really have a hard time coming up with any kind of level of energy unless I understand, why am I doing this? Why is this important? How am I making a difference? So if I nail that piece of it, everything else seems to kind of fall into place. So I think spending time in a quiet place, understanding what my purpose is, really is time well spent, so that I can align my guiding principles, I can create my vision, and then from that the mission will fall into place.
Yeah, and you know, that reminds me of something we talked about in the group, is that if you have a why, that's what creates employee engagement.
Mhm.
That's what engages people. And you were just talking about how that engages you. But I think the why is what engages people, what gets everybody's energy a little up. So I'm glad
Exactly.
you're working on that, and I'm going to work on that, and I hope that some of you will work on it as well. Thank you so much for
Thank
talking
you.
today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Hi, Novi. Well, thank you so much for coming and being willing to share today. You know, we talked about all these different words: vision, mission, goals, objectives, strategies, purpose, values. And one of the things we were having a hard time with is differentiating between, for example, objectives and goals and mission. And you came up with this great metaphor of a soccer team and how you might differentiate those words. Do you mind explaining that a little bit? Because I think it'll be really helpful to people who are watching this video.
Sure. So when I was talking about the goals and the objectives in the business environment, I took it into looking at the sports environment as well. You have a team, you have a goal, you have competition, you have a coach. So when we talked about the goals, the objectives, the strategies, and what's the difference of these, you think of the same way in that you run a play on the field, and this is your strategy. Each person, each player has an objective, and then the end game is to score the goal, and your mission or the end vision is to become the champion at the end of the day. So that's kind of what helped me tie all those different words that we talked about today into perspective.
And I think that really helped all of us, because we were talking about, okay, what's bigger, the goal or the objective?
Right.
And when you talked about how, well, let's say that the goal is to score a goal.
Yeah.
And then the objective is each player has their position that will support the goal. And then maybe the mission is to get the championship, and the vision is to be the best team.
Yes.
That helped us differentiate those words.
Exactly.
So for any of you who are confused, this metaphor really helped me. Thank you so much for being willing to
You're
share on
welcome.
camera. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.